Welcome to the Rebellious Noise Pro Wrestling channel. On this channel, we bring you some great content from inside and outside of the squared circle. We will go through and offer some in-depth analysis of the biggest events of the year, as well as bringing you exclusive interviews with some of the industry's biggest names. There will also be live show reviews, in-depth features, and podcasts. So make sure you give that subscribe button a slam so you don't miss any of the action. Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Dan from the Rebellious Noise Pro Wrestling channel. I am joined, as ever, by Scott, Rob, and Lucas, and we are here to talk WrestleMania Backlash. That's right, guys. Last night was WrestleMania. Back to the one-night format for we don't know how long. But they managed to
all the pay-per-views go to 2 nights, not just WrestleMania. I mean, my goodness, would that be dreadful?
To be fair, they may do it for like the big 4, but I guess
Rumble. The actual Rumble match goes over like elimination. How they do it in Formula 1 in the qualifying. You know, if you don't make the first bit, you're in the next bit. You know.
Well, I guess Rumble could work though, because they could have
1 to 15.
They got 2 different Rumble matches.
Yeah. True. Yeah, that's a good point.
True.
But don't
give them ideas.
Just don't do the World War III thing. You know, when it went from one ring to another ring.
Oh,
yeah.
Like right out the bat as well, we've got a comment in here. I'm here for Lucas. Hashtag push Lucas Jackson 2021.
Yeah.
Hey, we are pushing him. He's got his own show, you know.
He has indeed.
We'll quickly get to that, actually. There we go. The rapid review earlier today. Yeah. If you haven't seen it yet, check out Lucas's quick fire thoughts. But now we're getting deep on this one.
Yeah. So we're going to kick off, obviously, with the kickoff show, a match that wasn't announced initially, which was Sheamus issuing an open challenge on the kickoff show. Rob was in the land of Nod when this was probably announced. But yeah, Sheamus issuing an open challenge, and it was answered by Ricochet, fresh out of catering, still in his street clothes. Literally came out to the ring, faced Sheamus, got beat. What Sheamus is doing though at the moment is he's doing all these open challenges, but he says, "Yeah, you can. I'll have an open challenge. It's not for the title. You've got to earn that. So I'll face anyone, but just not with a title on the line." So, yes, I mean, what did you guys manage to catch much of this match? Because I know that we did predict who we thought it was going to be. Answering the challenge. We had another guest as well. Lucas had the heavyweight Lewis Barrett on as well, didn't you?
Yeah.
Did you both say Ricochet? I can't even remember who it was.
He said Trevor, and I said Mansoor.
I said Ricochet as well, and I said on it, it won't be for points, don't worry, because Rob's not here. Literally because of Rob, I was like, let's not make it for points, guys.
Sorry,
and then as soon as it was Ricochet, I was like, I could have got a point there if I wasn't so nice.
And it was the Battle of the Irish, Sheamus versus Ricochet.
I was thinking that as well, yeah. But I didn't see much of the match. Again, what you said about Sheamus doing the challenges, I do like that because I feel it's going to go somewhere. And obviously, we touched on it last night on the build-up show. Thanks for those that joined us. If you didn't, you missed out. It was good fun. It's a nice little pre-show party we have, and we'll be doing it for the next pay-per-view, which is Hell in a Cell. I'm sure we'll get to that. But on that. We're talking about like what's going to happen next with Sheamus, and I do feel like they are hinting at John Cena. It kind of seems to align that way, but we'll see. It's because it's got to go somewhere. This whole like, I'm giving you a chance, but I'm not giving you a chance. So don't know where. I'm hoping it would be Cena, but as far as this match goes, I was cooking, so didn't see much.
I saw the match. It was inoffensive. Like I think in the day, Ricochet one of those where. I think it's like the second or third time now he's been on the pre-show match. I think for the US title as well. Didn't they have a 4-way or something a few months ago? Have I imagined it? It was a 4-way.
Most likely.
I think there was,
Contenders match
yeah.
That's it. The show that Keith Lee was meant to win the US Championship, and he got injured. And that one. And they had a triple threat.
John Morrison won it. Yeah.
The match. Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Ricochet was in there. Look, like there's nothing bad about Ricochet. It's just obviously, in terms of WWE, it's just his run at the moment isn't going that well.
It's more of a crawl, mate, not a run.
Yeah, I mean, he's barely crawling into catering, isn't he?
Yeah.
But I think he came across good here, though,
Okay.
in an odd way. Seemed like he was having a bit more fun with it.
Yeah.
And I quite liked the not having gear thing, because it made sense for the open challenge, because obviously this was obviously a victory announced, I think, on the pre-show, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And I don't even know if it was at the beginning. It was literally announced like so close to the time.
So time to tape his wrists up, though.
Well, yeah. I mean, maybe that's literally all we had time to do. But no, the match was all right. The finish was a bit weird because Sheamus won with a knee. I don't know, Dan, if you can help me out here. Has he been doing that recently instead of the bro kick?
Yeah, I mean, he's been. I mean, to be fair, he's not really been having like apart from like the Mansoor one. A lot of it's just been like beatdowns with like Humberto Carrillo, really. But yeah, said that so cockney, didn't I? As well, Humberto Carrillo. Humberto Carrillo. There we go. A bit more Hispanic there. But yeah, I think he has been using it a little bit, but I mean, I don't really think he needs a knee and a kick. Really, it's like
the two.
You go. I think you go one or the other, really. But yeah, he has been using it a little bit in some of the matches. But
basically, if you didn't see it, the finish was that Ricochet went for his 630. Sheamus went out the way to land his feet. Sheamus went for the bro kick. Ricochet ducks or dodges out the way, rolls him up, 1, 2, kick out, and then Sheamus just hit the knee.
Yeah.
It just felt a bit like, what? Like,
yeah.
He hit the knee, Ricochet hit the floor, the ref hit the mat 3 times, the ringer, the timekeeper hit the bell, bang, there you go.
Yeah, and then afterwards, Sheamus tried to beat up Ricochet afterwards, but Ricochet managed to escape.
Yeah, I saw him running back on the ramp, and I was like, oh, well, did he win by DQ or something? I
no,
what's going on.
Ricochet lost. He lost, and he got knocked out. Sheamus kind of like an over-the-top celebration. I think he might have done a promo.
Yeah,
there was
a
gap between something happening.
He put his coat and his hat back on.
Yeah, he just moved his
I like that.
But
That's
Ricochet
cool.
took the coat in the hat, and Ricochet was actually dancing with the hat in the ring or something.
He dabbed.
And then obviously he escaped at the ramp.
He dabbed. It was a 2000. I don't know if it was like a thing to TJP because he done it the same sort of way. But yeah,
because they replayed the dab like it was some sort of big moment.
It's
Vince.
I mean, I'm not going for a full one. But I mean, it was funny. But I think it's just a way to build up them having a rematch at the next pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Or even start on Raw, probably.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get into that when it comes up on the show and that the next pay-per-view stuff. But yeah, I mean, unless anyone else has got anything to add, shall we move on to the main portion of the show?
Move.
Mm-hmm.
So, switching gears to the main show, we kicked off with a women's triple threat match, which saw Rhea Ripley defending against Asuka and Cruella de Vil. Sorry, Charlotte Flair.
Yeah.
So this was actually, I feel it was quite a nice little nod towards Sonya Deville, because obviously Deville, Sonya Deville, Cruella Deville, and the fact that it was Sonya that brought her back. You know, that's what kind of the only thing I can think of why she would have gone with the 101 Dalmatian thing.
Well, I guess the new film's obviously coming out, so I assume it's just a time with that. But yeah, it did feel weird when you're saying Deville twice, you know. But
yeah. Oh, also, one thing, that we didn't touch on the pre-show was Dominic Mysterio getting attacked. But I suppose we can get to that when we get into the SmackDown.
Oh, and Batista's intro as well.
Yeah,
Batista made me think. It'd be nice to say Batista, wouldn't it? So
yeah. So going back to the Raw Women's Championship match, Rhea Ripley, Asuka, Charlotte Flair. So we all did our predictions on that, and all of us said Rhea Ripley except for Lucas. There's going to be a running theme with that, by the way, guys, at least for the first few matches. But yeah, so do we think it was the right decision in the end? Are we happy with the way obviously the ones with points are happy with the way that we went, but you know, do we feel it would have gone any other way, really?
I felt like it was a really good start to the show. a really good match. It felt like a big match feel to it, you know.
Yeah.
As I know Lucas said on his rapid review that, you know, it looks like it's just basically here to set up now the singles match without Asuka, which I do feel like it probably is the case. Rhea doing all the it just that always kind of feels a bit too
barking
cheesy,
at her as well.
She was barking, was she?
Yeah, she barked at her as well. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that kind of stuff. I'm like, I guess you're getting over the point, you know, but yeah, it was interesting. Like, I mean, then Charlotte pointed at her as if she was a WrestleMania sign, which was quite funny. But the match itself, like, really enjoyed it. I do think Ripley should have won. And fair enough if that's the direction they're going to go in with the two of them. Which it kind of felt like that a lot with the triple threats lately, that it's basically to move the story along somewhere else. So, but yeah, great match. I think all three of them have really good chemistry. There's been times lately where Asuka and Rhea didn't seem to connect as well as we thought they would, but I think the three of them working together did really well. And Charlotte doing the double pin, like someone said on the predictions, and it was like, no, they couldn't copy Reigns. I'm glad she didn't get away with it and actually do it, because it would have been too much, but it was cool to see her try and do it, basically.
It means that the Riptide is really overstrong as well. Obviously, I think it's horrible to say, but like the former champion only being in there to kind of take the pinfall as well, because you know, I don't. Obviously, Charlotte wasn't necessarily the challenger, because it would have been Asuka. I guess it would have been Asuka's rematch, and then they added Charlotte afterwards initially. But you know, you would have expected like, oh, the third person. You're thinking, oh, surely they would be there to take the pinfall, but nah. Try and keep her strong. I think they are going to build to probably Charlotte Rhea at the next pay-per-view. Obviously, we know what that is now, and yeah, I mean, Rob, Lucas, what do you guys think of this?
Yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed the match. I'm not a fan of. I don't know why all of a sudden Charlotte's over-rotating when she does like a moonsault. I don't know if it's just me, but she looks like she now lands
like the one to the outside.
Yeah. She lands feet first instead of flat-bodied, so like to be caught. I just, you know, like, I'm more worried on her part, because surely that's going to be doing damage to your knees
from
a height, you know. I mean, I really enjoyed the match. I think the only thing that really confused me was the ending. What happened to Charlotte for her to drop to the outside? Because the camera kind of flipped back, and I didn't see anything.
Yeah, she did the boo, and she slipped. She slipped. One right. She did the boo. She kind of landed it on. It's like when they do like a forearm and they drop with it, like that kind of thing. She did the boo, but she lost her balance, and so obviously then she was losing her balance, going down to the floor,
like the outside. Yeah.
And by the time that she went to obviously crawl back in, the pin already happened.
Right. All right.
Yeah.
Because that makes more sense
afterwards, but
yeah. It was just the way it happened, and I was kind of like, oh, what the hell is going on? Because 1 minute she was standing there, and then the next minute she weren't there, and then the pinfall happened. and I was just, you know, I was a bit flabbergasted by what had happened. Like, I was like, did I miss something? Did I blink? Like, I mean, I know I'm tired, but you know, I'm pretty good at keeping my eye on things. But yeah, I don't know. But other than that, that was my only gripe. I think the camera, they could have just, you know, when they got the hard cam, instead of using they done that for the hard cam just so you can see that moment happen. Then I think that it would have been a bit better. But other than that, I've got no motive.
It did feel like quite a chaotic ending, didn't it? But it was exciting though, you know, with the three of them in there. It was a very exciting end to the match.
Yeah, I thought both triple threat matches delivered. This one in particular, well, both of them, to be fair. I think obviously triple threat matches. We're now at a point where they've overdone this stipulation now. Obviously with Mania, and now obviously these two. Obviously even AEW are doing one as well. A couple of weeks, Double or Nothing. So I think it is a stipulation that might need to be rested. On this note, though, yesterday I think it was yesterday when we spoke about it, about Asuka's title reign. I had totally forgot this actually even existed, but Asuka didn't actually hold the title for the full year, did she? Sasha Banks won it in the middle of that reign. When Golden Role Models had both, they had all the belts. They had the tag belts, and the Raw and
they were switching.
Belts.
Yeah,
I have literally forgotten that even existed.
Yeah,
I just thought that Asuka was a year champion. You know, it wasn't until someone texted me and reminded me that title change existed during that whole time where obviously Bayley and Sasha were on both brands. And I think this, you know, this is the thing, like with Asuka, like, end of the day with that, my point basically with this is, end of the day, Asuka at the moment isn't going to be the person they want to be around the championship. But that's okay, because as we've seen previously, some of these title reigns just get forgotten anyway. So it's not necessarily a bad thing. And maybe, as Dan and I we speak about quite often, maybe this will be someone they can use to do a feud that does not involve a championship with. Asuka's one of the best female wrestlers in the world. You know, she's obviously more than earned her spot. And if anyone is to go up against Asuka, that's a women's match worth watching, isn't it? As far as I'm concerned. And I think, yeah, like, she didn't need to be in the championship picture anymore. Like I said, she's been in it for a year, despite not holding the belt for a year, obviously. It was over 2 reigns, but still, for the best part of a year, she held the belt. She's been tag champion as well during that year as well. So, I mean, she didn't need any more championship success, really, for now. So I'll be down for her doing something with someone else down the card. Or maybe she's going to go off TV for a little bit. You know, she's got kids. Maybe she wants some time off. So, yeah, but it definitely seems that this match is being used to push them into Rhea and Charlotte, which obviously with Ronda, as I touched on my video earlier, with obviously Ronda pregnant, Becky Lynch still not back from injury. I'm not sure. Not injury, from her maternity.
Injury.
Well, some people.
I guess it hurt.
You know, with obviously Becky Lynch still not back, you could argue that really Rhea versus Charlotte is probably the biggest women's match they could have right now. Having already done Asuka versus Ripley, you know, there's not many more big matches that division can have. So it probably is the right decision to make. I don't know whether they're long it out till SummerSlam or whether they're just going to end up doing it at Hell in a Cell. But well, that's what we're here to see, I guess.
Yeah, so as I say, I mean, I think it was overall, it's good. I mean, I don't, see what they're going to go from here, really. Because it's like, are they going to just keep going with the same old, like the same 3 rotating, or, you know, is there anybody else really? I mean, you got to think we've got Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax now out of the tag team picture. Are they going to maybe insert themselves into it? I mean,
a good Shayna and Asuka feud done well would be very nice. Them 2 grudge match, you know, we were both top dogs in NXT and whatever else. Them 2 would work really well as a grudge feud. Yeah,
I mean, and that, to be fair, that's one of them that doesn't need to be for a championship as well.
Yes, I mean,
that Shayna, the Shayna Asuka one is just, it's just going to be, that would be an absolute brilliant feud. So, so let's now move on to the SmackDown Tag Team Championships, which featured the team of Bobby Roode and Dolph Ziggler, the Dirty Dogs, the tag team champions, up against Rey and Dominic Mysterio. So this match essentially started out as a handicap match because on the pre-show, Dominic was attacked by the Dirty Dogs. And the trainer said to Rey Mysterio, essentially, find yourself another partner. Dom's not going to be cleared to wrestle. Rey probably took about 80-85% of this match on his own, really. And then Dominic did make his way out, ribs hurting, not enough to let him hit his dad's finisher, the frog splash.
His dad's finisher,
and 1, 2, 3, Mysterio's first ever father-son tag team champions. Great moment. 3 of us called it. Again, 1 of us didn't. To be fair, I mean, I was thinking, wait, hang on, Lucas is onto something. As soon as this match became like a handicap match, it's like, oh, bloody hell. Like, they're going to wait until there's fans back to do it. But I think it's, I suppose in the context, it's the right decision to put it on the face team. And because I think there's more heel tag teams that can challenge them. But I mean, what do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was a very good match. Rey is very impressive when you think about his age and stuff like that. This kind of the past few years, he's refreshed, I feel, and he's always impressed, I feel, since he come back. And even did one of the jump up Hurricane Runner, like you know, like when they just jump up and catch them with their legs, basically, you know, like super just fast, quick snap sort of one. And he did that, and you think, what is he, like 46? I think they said. And it's like that's incredible, you know. But yeah, and he worked, you know, to do the match pretty much on his own, like you said, was really good. The other two played their heels perfectly. I think they were a great team to work against for Rey in the sympathetic babyface. You know, simple things like Ziggler pretending to be like, oh, go over there and tag, and like reaching out and stuff like that was quite funny. I do hope they use those guys more now. But I can see this probably being the end of it, to be fair. But I do hope they get more out of them. If they're not going to use them individually. But yeah, great feel-good moment. Like you, Dan, I started to think, oh, what's going to happen? Because they kind of flirted with it being a new, like another partner. And I was like, why would you do that? And I don't want them to be the chat, like Rey and someone else. The whole point is Rey and Dominic. I don't want someone else. There was no one else that could come that you'd think, oh, that makes sense. Other than, which was never going to happen, but Batista, because he was mentioned at the start, but he's always said he's never coming back, you know? So that's the only one storyline sense. I could be like Rey and Batista, you know, that kind of link again. He was mentioned at the beginning of the show, but it was never going to happen. But again, decent match. Rey dressed as vintage Batman, it seemed. So that was 2 gears that I think surely were WrestleMania gears, because both of them didn't have a match, like Cruella DeVille gear for Charlotte. But you don't bust that out on a Backlash. I feel like both those gears were probably made for Mania with the thought that they would be on Mania, because both of them probably assumed they would be, like we all did. So yeah, just a little point about gear, basically. Yeah,
I really enjoyed it. I mean, Rey and Eddie was the very first match I ever see that got me into wrestling. So there's
not a bad match.
Halloween Havoc. So it's not. You know, you can't complain.
Been downhill since then.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just so, as you said, refreshing just to Rey's like in his mid to late 40s, and you know he's still moving like he was back in '97. Like, you know, nothing's changed. I was concerned about his knees because obviously he had the issues there, injuries there, but even that doesn't seem to phase him. I like the angle with attacking Dominic and Rey kind of saying like, I'll do it on my own. I was really worried that someone random was going to come out. I was like, please no.
Yeah, don't ruin
and
it.
then but I enjoyed the way it was done. And I've got to say that the frog splash that Dominic does is it's lovely, isn't it? You know, I don't know if it's just, I just love it. It's nice to see someone do it, and like he gets a lot of height for someone that's
very high.
Another one that's good is Montez Ford as well. Montez Ford is incredible.
But yeah, you know, other than that, I don't got nothing to complain about. The right team won. I'm hoping they continue the feud as you know, even if it's just the next pay-per-view, and then you know, they can just move it on from it after then. But you know, I don't know what I'm worried for now, Ziggler and Rudy, if they don't, because they're going to get lost in the shuffle. Is, you know, I think this match really showed how good of a heel group that a team they are. You know, before the match and then during the match as well. But yeah, no, I loved it.
Yeah, look, I mean, my first reaction was the minute it started as a handicap. I was like, only WWE could have. I mean, we went from last year when they had the triple threat match for the tag team championships at WrestleMania, you know, with individual people, not 3 teams. Now we're having a handicap match for these belts. That was my first reaction, but they salvaged it big time. You know, like once it became apparent what was going to happen, which isn't always a bad thing. This, like once it became apparent, okay, it's gonna start as a handicap, and Dom's obviously gonna come out. Like in my head, I'm like, okay, I get that. And there was still that moment where I thought, because of the injury, I thought that Dom could still lose, especially when he tagged himself in. Yeah. And I was like, oh, what's happened now is obviously they're going to, because Rey's obviously dead, because like he's been in the match for like 15 minutes now. They're going to get rid of him.
And it'd be like the rookie mistake. And...
rookie mistake. Yeah. And even up to when the finish, what actually ended up being the finish, like the splash. I was like, well, yeah, like, Rue's going to move. Because that's said in the pips, whatever. Glorious DDT 1, 2, 3. Like, you know, that would make sense. Yeah. And I think it's good when they're able to do something like that, you know, when they're able to show that, oh, actually, it could go either way. I do think, and I don't know whether it's me maybe excusing some of my poor choices, but I do think with them obviously changing the pay-per-view schedules around, that some of these match results may have changed. Because I felt this one and the first match in particular, it did feel very open to anyone could have won at any time towards the end bit. But then again, it is also what they do. The WWE, they're beautiful. We're doing this, aren't they? Like in general. But obviously, we know now that next is going to be Hell in a Cell, not Money in the Bank. Money in the Bank is moving to July 18th, which actually Hell in a Cell's on Father's Day, and Money in the Bank, if it does go ahead, at the moment
18th of July,
yeah, they've got Money in the Bank, but they've also got Extreme Rules on the same day. Like I've seen sources saying both things.
Right.
So
yeah. Now apparently Extreme Rules has now been moved to October, so they're looking. So at the moment, they're saying the schedule is going to be Hell in a Cell next, and then Money in the Bank, because they are hoping to resume touring in July, and that fans will be in attendance for Money in the Bank. That's why they've pushed that back a month. So according to the schedule, it should be Hell in a Cell, then Money in the Bank, and then SummerSlam.
Oh yeah, and then Extreme Rules after.
Oh no, Extreme Rules. I think they're going to move.
Clash of Champions as well.
I think
Clash of Champions.
I think Extreme Rules is probably going to move to the October slot where Hell in a Cell would have been. Hell in a Cell, ironically, it's been in the October slot since 2009. It's been in October, and then apart from 2018 when it was in September. So it's strange how they're just doing it now. It's probably they're thinking, well, the crowd are not going to see anyway. Yeah, they're not going to be able to see through that stupid red cage. Yeah. And so like, sod it, we'll just do it in the Thunderdome, and we'll kick on with the rest of it. With
I do feel it's weird timing though. Yeah, true.
Could have just done Fully Loaded or something, mate.
It feels weird because it's like it should be, as we always say, it should be the big blow off, and it's like, well, there is no feud for that. Like all the feuds that are going to go into it are probably going to be first time matches, you know, or second time ones, or feuds that aren't that strong anyway. So it feels a bit weird to do that. I do want to quickly say before we move on from this match that there was a part of me that thought that Dominic was going to turn in this match, not so much attack Rey and help the other two, because the other two legit beat him up backstage sort of thing. I thought he was going to jump down when Rey went to tag him. I thought Dominic was going to jump and then like back onto the floor and then slowly walk away and watch Rey get beat or whatever, you know. Whatever would have been a good way to do it.
I think there's so many story arcs there, especially with obviously the Father's Day maybe next month.
He'll do it on Father's Day. That'd be.
It's too soon though. You can't have just won the title. Maybe they will, but I think they won't do it now. I think it's definitely got to happen, but ages from now.
Yeah. I mean, you know, but yeah, my point basically about the Money in the Bank though was that it moving to that weekend moves it 10 years pretty much to the date since the Summer of Punk incident, because it was July 17th, 2011.
Yeah.
Yes, we're old.
Imagine if they did that as well, and that's why they did it.
July 17th, 2011 was probably the best match in terms of not a Money in the Bank match, obviously. At Money in the Bank pay-per-view was, you know, Punk and Cena, 2011. You know, that kissing Vince McMahon goodbye with the WWE title.
Was that the one where he had the title in his fridge afterwards?
Yeah. As one of the best pay-per-views in the modern era. That. Such a good show.
Yeah, from start to finish as well, it was pretty good as well. By the way, so Lucas, does that mean then that you're calling CM Punk to do the Brock Lesnar style running at the end, get the briefcase, and then CM Punk is going to be the one that's going to dethrone Roman Reigns?
I think the thing is now we mention Punk. It's one of those where
CM Punk return confirmed.
Yeah, exactly.
Here first.
No, it ain't happening on the most. But it's just significant that date has been chosen again. You know, but to an extent, it's one of those things where they just went 4 weeks after the last one. But yeah, no. To the actual match, I felt was decent. I want to see more of the Dirty Dogs, which means that most likely on SmackDown they'll be splitting up. That's just what WWE do. You know, I want to see more of them. They had good chemistry together. They looked well together. They had a joint entrance, which I know. I guess Dan, you watch the weekly shows, but like we don't. So for me, it's just like I'm so used to even like Nia and Shayna. They had separate entrances for that so long. You know, but it seems that basically WWE's way of saying that a team doesn't get on or that they're temporary is you don't get to have a joint entrance. If you have a joint entrance, then maybe you're going to be safe. That's what I'm hoping, that Rudolph are going to be safe, you know, with this, because they need teams at the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, and talking of things that they need more of, they actually need more women because the SmackDown Women's Championship match came next, and that was Bayley and Bianca Belair.
Oh, it wasn't the other match.
It was the
zombie.
Was it?
Zombie
Oh yeah,
Man was
sorry.
next. Yeah.
Yep, it was that. Yep.
I mean, we can breeze past that though if you want.
Yeah, I think that's why, because obviously it was Damian Priest and The Miz, which was less said about that the better. All I know is I got a point from it. Rob got a point from it. Move on. There we go. Done.
Oh, wow.
So interesting. One of the zombies was Scotty 2 Hotty.
Yeah.
One of the orange jumpsuit. But other than that, I mean, you guys will probably disagree, but I thought this was absolutely ridiculous and stupid. Right result, but the whole zombie thing, absolutely ridiculous, stupid, pointless, and obviously,
Yeah, I'd say I can't lie, I enjoyed it. So while in the world of wrestling, and I've moaned about the cinematic stuff before in the trash compactor scene with the Street Profits, like
and the octopus.
And that was it. Yeah. It's just I can't pretend I didn't enjoy it. And I didn't enjoy the dry ice and cool zombie makeup and stuff like that. I did. Now, it was an ridiculously obvious tie-in with the film and stuff like that. In the wrestling world, it's a load of crap, but like the Undertaker's meant to be the same, basically. So why are we okay with that? So it's kind of tough, really, to kind of criticize it too much, because I feel like the way it looked and it was executed was quite good. The problem is the characters shouldn't pretend they think they're really zombies. The characters should be acting like, oh man, I know you guys are acting, but you're scared the crap out of me. I don't like zombies. That's what should be going on here. They should be acknowledging that this is for a film. These aren't characters from the film. They are dressed as characters from the film. It shouldn't be acting like the film is real. And that's where the problem comes in here. I think if they just acted like, look, they are actors and they are dressed as zombies, but Miz hates zombies. That's what they should have done with it, But so I kind of tried to watch it through that kind of viewpoint, even though that's not the way they were presenting it. But yeah, another note as well, John Morrison having drip in his hair. That's cool. But yeah, and John Morrison doing all his parkour, like that. It was cool. Like, it was great. Like him taking out zombies with parkour, not a phrase, you'd think you'd be saying, but it was really enjoyable in that sense. So yeah, but Priest chose this match. He chose this match to fight zombies. I mean, how stupid is that?
He chose a lumberjack match. He didn't choose zombies for it.
Oh yeah, true.
And why the hell did the Lumberjacks have their own locker room as well? Were they special?
Yeah. And see, remember yesterday when I predicted it, I was like, Miz is gonna win, and then completely forgot it was a lumberjack match, and then didn't know at all that it was going to be a zombie match, So, like, I think if we knew, if I remembered it was lumberjack, I would have definitely gone for Priest. But so gutted about the points there, but his words.
I'm in two minds about it. From a cinematic point of view, it was lovely. The way they moved, the camera work, the dry ice, the makeup and stuff. It was great. Like, if this was just normal and it was like on a film, obviously it was promoting to the film, but if it was like a show or something, I would appreciate it, and I'd be like, it's great. But in wrestling, I have a problem with it. I just don't think Damian Priest or The Miz have anything to do with this. If it was Bray Wyatt bringing them out, no problem. Undertaker
or if it was the horror show again.
Yeah, I guess then no problem. Or a Halloween Havoc thing. Like, I have no issue with it. I just don't think it fit either character. I get the promo for it, but it was weird.
Or even that promo at the beginning with Batista desperately trying to tie in the film with it.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen the trailer for that film, by the way? It changes what the film is about 3 times. Like, you start thinking it's one kind of film, and you say it's a different kind of film, and then at the end of the trailer you go, oh, it's that kind of film. So I can't imagine what the film's going to be like.
It's a Zack Snyder film, so it's it's
going to be weird. But other than that, though, I mean, it was all right, I guess. Although I did say that if you go back and listen, I did say that the way Priest will get his win is by something happening to Morrison, which will cause a distraction. And
just didn't imagine it'd be zombies.
Something happened to Morrison that gave Priest the distraction. I literally called it. I didn't call the zombies, but I called the finish. Zombies. I don't know. But other than that, I mean, it is what it is, isn't it?
Did you see Batista having a go at that fan on Twitter who basically moaned about the zombies? And he basically was like, why the F are you moaning at me? Shouldn't you be tweeting Vince? Something like that. It's like, yeah, because he was like, I didn't book it.
Excuse the pun, but there was a lot of backlash. I hate that I've had to use that, but there was a lot of backlash about it, and a lot of people saying
WrestleMania backlash.
And the thing was, people were saying you wouldn't get that in AEW. Now I don't want to change that swing side.
Why you got to keep comparing though, innit?
Oh,
yeah,
exactly. But they have a zombie character in AEW. Like, what's the problem? You know, look at Decay. Not that there were zombies, but they were slightly weird. You know,
I mean, people trying to compare this all the time, like
penises came out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, so like,
you know, wrestling's different for a lot of people.
I don't understand the comparison. Like, just enjoy it for what it is. It's wrestling, and we have loads of it. So stop moaning about it all.
And the same people that cheer for the Undertaker. So yeah, come on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, look, I didn't mind this match. I don't like Damien Priest still. Yeah, I don't think he does, but I quite like this match. It was all right. To be fair, it's like Lumberjack matches are a bit stale anyway, so it's a case of like this at least improved upon it. It's all right, but I just don't see where, like, you know, I just hope that both guys move on to completely new things. Yeah. Now, because there's no real way back to continue any of this. I'd say it's just obviously, especially now, Miz lost twice in a row. Just move on to new things, and we'll be happy days, really. You know, obviously, I don't really know where this leads, like the Priest in particular. Like, don't know if he's maybe going to be in line to maybe get a shot against Sheamus next, you know, for the US Championship potentially. As he needs, I think he needs something, surely, because I mean, it's just, this is how it is, you know, not having the. Obviously, you mentioned AEW just then. They have the ranking system, which do help these things. But you know, does being a former WWE champion, surely that should get you a United States Championship match at least. You'd thought,
or at least being put in the shuffle. Yeah,
you'd at least think. And obviously for Miz and Morrison, you know, I guess they're kind of bulletproof now. You know, they've been in the business too long. And Morrison, like, it was great seeing him do his parkour stuff. To be fair, and there's some cinematic stuff that I quite liked in this. This is one of those where I guess like they can only get away with it with no fans as well, because you know the fans are there, they'd be chanting stupid chants and they'd be going, "Oh, that's Scotty Scotty," like, you know, and chanting Scotty Scotty chants on the stuff. But the way it was filmed was all right. So it's only, I think it was like 5 minutes long or whatever, 6 minutes long.
Well, they'll have the other stupid chant of "This is awesome."
It was 7 minutes long altogether.
7 minutes, well, that's inoffensive. That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah. So now a bit obviously, I was a bit premature with this one before, but it is now the SmackDown Women's Championship match. Bianca Belair defending against Bayley. So this one was, I believe, the first time that all of us selected the exact same winner. We only actually did that twice on the entire show, and that was for the two singles matches. Actually, that we all picked the same. Everyone here saying Bianca Belair was going to win. She did win, but it was it wasn't the cleanest of finishes, and the fact that WWE didn't show a replay of the finish makes you think something went a little bit wrong with it. So much like the WrestleMania 35 one, they tried not to show the finish of that too much because I think Ronda's shoulders weren't down then, but it was whether Bayley had like kicked out or something, and she went a bit mad after the match, really, saying obviously that she needed Michael Cole to check the replays and stuff. But yeah, I mean, what do you guys think to this one? I mean, I don't know really where they're going to go from here, because there's only like 8 women on SmackDown, so who's going to challenge her next?
True. I mean, I'll keep it short and sweet. I enjoyed the match for what it was. I don't like the overuse of Belair's hair. It was used against Sasha. I get that it's literally a part of her. Bell hair. I get it's a part of her. And it's used to her advantage in that way. I prefer her using it as a heel, because that's a proper heel move, in my opinion. but I just don't like it. I don't know. It's one of those where it's good, but there's more. You can do a lot more rather than just get whipped with your own hair or whip the other. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't need to be in every pay-per-view match, and we've seen it now back to back in pay-per-views. I like the fact that Bayley had more of an aggressive side as well, with the front suplex onto the steps and stuff like that. So I don't know where they're kind of going with Bayley, or what this angle is going to do, if they're going to go forward again. You're right, the finish was a bit off. Did Bianca use her hair? I'm assuming she used her hair for leverage or something or another to get the pinfall. I don't know. I mean, as you said, that there was no replay.
I think she did that. She did like a pin where she held the leg, but usually you'd hold the legs with your arms, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
But she was trying to use her hair, but then her hair slipped or whatever, so Bayley's legs slipped out. Then she just grabbed them grabbed her ankles with her hands.
Yeah, it was like a rough connection going into the pin. Yeah.
Using the hair.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I've only watched it once because, like I said, I was in the land of Nod when it happened, so I kind of had to watch it in sections throughout the day, because of work and stuff. So I kind of watched it and was like, all right, okay, that happened. I remember that bit, and there's not much. But yeah, I enjoyed it. It was a decent match. I would like to see a rematch with like a stipulation involved, or like. Not just a no DQ or something. It doesn't. Obviously, I know that I didn't open to Extreme Rules and Street Fight and all that stuff, or just something where they, even if them two are in the Hell in a Cell, just to finish this off, unless they're going to continue it. But yeah, I don't really see much happening with Bayley at the moment. She's one of those. She's great with the title, but I just don't want to get lost in the shuffle again. As you said, there's like 8 women on SmackDown, and after Bayley, after this thing's finished, who's next?
Well, I mean, so you got obviously Bianca as champion, then you've got Bayley, Carmella, Liv Morgan, Natalya, and Tamina, who are the tag champs. Ruby Riott, Sasha Banks. Technically, they're saying Sonya Deville, but she's an authority figure, and Reckoning or Mia Yim, who's not yet debuted on SmackDown. That's literally all you've got there.
I just don't see
50 women on NXT.
Yeah, no sense. And I don't really want to. I don't want to put a downplay on it because we support the women's wrestling, and the movement and how well they've done and stuff like that. But all the list of names that Dan said, 1, maybe 2 of those, I would say are championship worthy at the moment. I can't see anyone else really doing it, and I think when they're in that situation, what do you do? You either keep it with Bayley or you flip-flop it back to Sasha. I can't see Liv Morgan having a great match with Belair and then having the title. I think if anyone was going to, maybe Ruby Riott, but you'd have to put her as a heel to do that using the right squad to help.
It's that problem of, like we've mentioned, not having grudge feuds and only having title matches and it always being the same people. It's hard to grow new stars like that, It's hard to, a lot of these people, we look at them and go, yeah, they've got the talent to be in that position, but it's not believable at the moment. So they need to work on some background.
They really do, yeah.
There's 25 women on NXT. That is more than Raw and SmackDown combined.
Yeah, they got less TV time, and no one
But in that, they're including in main roster. So that's including Becky Lynch when she comes back, Lacey Evans, who's currently out injured, pregnant, as well.
Another injury.
Yeah, another injury, yeah. I think it works out there's 23 women across the main roster and 25 in NXT.
Madness.
Wow. Yeah. I felt like it was a decent match though. I feel like Bayley is the good heel to come up against Bianca's kind of like first title defense. I think she played that role quite well. And they do have good chemistry. That Rumble kind of era feud as well was quite good. And I really enjoyed Bayley. It's just the little things Bayley does, like what you mentioned earlier, Dan, like at the end complaining, going like, check it back, shouting at the commentators, going like, basically saying, you guys have access, tell the production, show this, like, this is unfair. Like, it's a kind of thing like, well, not even a heel, but like anyone that's been wronged would do, I like stuff like that. But yeah, generally speaking, I thought it was a good match. Another little point out for attires. I really like the sequins attire on Bianca Belair. And those cushions you get when you do it and it changes what it says. I really like that stuff. So
she makes it all herself as well. She's really
amazing.
super talented.
She's very talented. Yeah. And also, I think it was Bayley getting thrown onto the camera from a pin. Was it Bayley that? I think she powered out and Bayley flew out of the ring, like kicked the camera, which obviously was by accident. But it's little things like that make it make things stand out. So it's cool.
Yeah, well, I thought this was okay. I didn't think it was either good or bad. Like I felt, I don't know, just the finish. I don't like how, obviously there was no, as much as there was no dodgy finishes on the evening last night. There was this one which I put in the questionable category. Obviously, it wasn't dodgy in like having interference and weapons and all that kind of stuff that they usually have, or something just completely stupid. But I just did feel a bit like, Bianca Belair just had her amazing WrestleMania moment, defeating Sasha Banks in the main event of night one, anyway. And now, like a month later, she's having to cheat to beat Bayley. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it's that again, like Rob says, using the whole hair thing as well. Yeah, isn't it? Like it doesn't really fit babyface.
She has an awesome finish, which all the girls are capable of taking. They're happy to take it.
Yeah.
Just let that be it. Like as much as again, like it's just you have to. It's hard because I find myself. I don't even watch AEW, but I find myself just comparing. Like they do those clean finishes. When they get these chances, and I think. WWE, they've definitely tied up a little bit. We're not as stupid as, like I said, going back to that Sasha Banks run in the summer when there was like the count out thing. Wasn't that how Asuka lost the title because she got counted out in that match? Because remember Stephanie, there was that. Oh, what was it? That whole thing where Bayley.
I just remember this stupid thing where Bayley was a ref.
Bayley put a ref top on
all that stuff.
And, all that rubbish they done over the summer. All these one finishes. We're all getting better at that. And again, like we're back to finishes as well. Like we used to have, from WrestleMania, I think they've made a really good conscious decision that someone's finisher means something now. There's not loads of kickouts of them. So Bianca Belair just winning with a finish would have been good. It would have helped show that okay, Bianca Belair is a serious competitor now. She's beat Bayley and Sasha Banks with the same move. There's little things that they could do it's like when I think about, just because we mentioned him earlier with the film that it's tied into, which, I think I might do a little review for our film channel. It's out this Friday on Netflix. But, Batista, the thing that made him was the fact that he defeated Triple H 3 times in a row. It was a massive deal. And it was with the one Batista bomb each time. It meant something. It mattered. They shove it down our throats. And now Batista, he was due to headline the Hall of Fame this year, but that's obviously going to happen at a future date. And it's because of that moment. And Bianca Belair should have done the same thing. How cool would it be talking about Bianca Belair at SummerSlam on our SummerSlam prediction, saying, yeah, she beat Sasha Banks and Bayley, and then don't know who else is on SmackDown who's actually credible. Even like
Carmella.
I think
they did it with her before, didn't they? So
yeah,
they could.
It's Nia Jax. To be fair, if she could do it on night, if she could do that finish on Nia Jax, that'd be something to see. But yeah, look, there were still those moments where Bianca looked good. Wow, bloody
what's that noise? Sound like a bomb. What was that?
That was thunder.
Yeah.
Outside my door. So yeah,
it's here as well.
I was always a SmackDown fan.
Yeah. So I'm in my own personal Thunderdome. So.
Hey, look, the match was all right though. The match was all right, but I don't know how they're going to get this feud into a Hell in a Cell, or they are going to have Hell in a Cell with these.
I think it'll be a rematch. I guess Bayley will just be like, well. Yeah, like she'll probably play on the dodgy finish side of it. Sasha may be like, well, I want a rematch. They'll probably do triple threat inside Hell in a Cell.
It's the wrong pay-per-view to move, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
Extreme Rules there. They should put Extreme Rules there.
They've got plenty that they could have moved, or even just like put like one of the old names over like the pay-per-view or something if you don't want to do that. But yeah, and then obviously on the subject of women's champions, Scott, you recently sat down and interviewed a women's champion in NXT UK women's champion, Kaylee Ray, along with Rampage Brown. wasn't actually over Zoom. It was a nice face-to-face interview, like actually managing to get out.
The olden days.
Yeah, like back to some relative kind of normality. Obviously, Kaylee, I guess, was talking to you a bit about being a women's champion and obviously being the longest reigning women's champion at the moment in WWE.
Decent little reign.
Yeah, it's the forever champion, I think, is that she's describing herself as. And you talk little bit about that with her. So if you haven't already, guys, go and check that out. It's really really good interview, and there are some more bits and pieces coming up soon. So yeah, hopefully they'll be just as good as these. I don't see why they wouldn't, but yeah, check them out. So shall we move on now to the main WWE and Universal title matches? We will go triple threat. Braun Strowman versus Bobby Lashley versus Drew McIntyre. Big, beefy boys all round here. This match was hard-hitting. It was brutal. And in the end, I think it was the right decision and the right way to win, because it made, although Braun was there, we predicted to take the fall. I think the fact that it took Drew's finisher and Lashley's finisher to beat him still made him come out looking strong. Obviously, Scott, I bet you were hoping that it was just Drew. As soon as that Claymore hit, you're thinking, just pin him quick. But in the end, Bobby Lashley came in, hit a spear, got the 1, 2, 3, and still your WWE champion heading into Hell in a Cell. I think they're going to replay this at Hell in a Cell, aren't they, boys?
I don't know if Braun's going to move. I don't think he should, though, because I think he shone the most in this match. I think he looked so good. And, he was very impressive. And, I'd just like to see more of him. And I feel like he's probably out of the feud now. You know, like you said, we all thought he'd probably be taking a pin anyway. But I really didn't expect him to kind of shine so much and be the star, even though he took the pin.
It's like you want them to look strong in defeat, you know, if they're gonna lose. And
he booked it very well.
Yeah, I think because normally with the triple threat, you'll normally have somebody that's like on the outside, like while there's two guys fighting. But from what I was seeing, Braun probably took the majority of this match. And you know, from the whole, how long was it? About 14 minutes. He was actually pretty, like, when he was in there, he did look really good. I think he's probably doing at the moment, he's doing some of the best work I've seen him do in WWE. And, you know, just if you give the guy a chance, I mean, what's to say that they couldn't move him onto SmackDown and be like a viable contender for Reigns? You know, you could even say, you know, face Braun Strowman against heel Roman Reigns. You think the size of him, you'd think, actually, this is a guy that could beat Roman Reigns. But
I mean, they've got history.
Exactly.
But
but
you're right. He was all over the match. I think he was either doing something really cool or having something really cool done to him. You know, like the double suplex, that crazy flip he did, which was a bit worrying because it looked like because there was twice where he basically rolled on his head, sort of thing. It seemed like he was very close to landing on his head. But that was the only worrying part from his performance. But other than that, like, I just think he shone so much in this. But gutted for Drew as far as me not getting a point here, but I can't say it's a wrong decision. You know, like I'm glad to see Lashley continue his reign as well. Yeah,
I thought it was superb. And you know, it's one of those matches when you watch back, you're like, when you think about it, it seemed like it was 14 minutes, but you know, it flew by. And it's where pacing is just really good with this, you know. Braun looked like a star coming out of this, and it's one of those things where I still just we have to obviously await Raw tonight to find out kind of what they're going to do most likely, and obviously don't forget to check out Lay the SmackDown on that tomorrow night on this channel, where Dan will obviously talk about Raw, and we most likely will get the main event for Hell in a Cell, I'm assuming, or something at least getting towards it. But
it means you guys ain't got to sit through 3 hours as well, so I'll take one for the team.
I don't know. 20 minutes of you is also painful. No, I'm joking.
It is. To be
fair. But I get a feeling from that finish, though, they're going to go with Lashley and Drew again, though. You know, because obviously Drew didn't get pinned.
And Drew lost the title in Hell in a Cell last year, so he's going to want a bit of a thing to say, well, actually, I can win Hell in a Cell matches.
Yeah. And Lashley been in Hell in a Cell? I don't think he has.
Not sure.
I don't remember one.
Like, for someone who's been obviously as tenured as he kind of has. But then obviously it's the fact that he left the company before this whole insistence on every pay-per-view being gimmicked. And he's only returned to it in the last kind of few years. But so it will be Lashley's first Hell in a Cell match, if that is the direction they go down. As I think the other match, I'm only going to mention this now because I'm not going to be here when you talk about the end part. But I think the other Hell in a Cell will involve the SmackDown side. I think they go for 2 men's ones.
I'd like if they just did one, and that was the one they did.
Yeah, it's always 2 or 3, isn't it?
Yeah.
But look, no, this match though, there was some really nice stuff in there. Like the dive was quite scary from Braun, I must admit. But that aside, everything kind of seemed to go, and getting rid of Lashley through the light board. I know it's a bit gimmicky, but it really worked here. I liked when he went to do his Braun Express thing, and Drew caught him with that suplex. And I must admit, it always looked scary when he takes those moves, Braun. But he's getting better at it, and that power bomb to the table, my God, he just yeeted him. And this is the Braun Strowman that literally we needed for such a long time. We really should have had it last year when he was champion. This is the thing, how's he better now without a championship than he was when he was obviously the champion? But I think Braun's definitely one of those guys where he's ready to go into either world title picture. But I just get a feeling they're going to extend Lashley and Drew, which, and I think if they do, this is where, Drew is a star now, and that's fine. But we have to start moving other people into that position because, obviously, apart from the 2 matches of Bobby Lashley versus The Miz, he's been involved in every single WWE Championship match for 15 months.
And just to confirm, Lashley has not been in Hell in a Cell.
Yeah, I didn't think so. I think, I kind of had that in my head that he hadn't been. And also, Braun Strowman, only his 2nd WWE Championship match.
Man, yes, man. You know what, for Braun as well, I want to say, credit to him, he seems willing to try things. And, when did you last see guys that size where one of them gave the other Michinoku driver? That was so cool as well. The fact that Drew managed to do that to Braun, and that Braun managed to take it so smoothly as well. Yeah, it's just I really appreciate the stuff that Braun kind of is willing to try.
I'm a big fan of Braun, but this is one of those things again where WWE let him do stuff. Whoever booked this match and allowed them, and when they planned and prepped it and what they were doing backstage and stuff beforehand, the ideas that went into this is the stuff that makes someone like Braun stand out without a championship. He doesn't need a title to be credible, right? And the stuff that he took, the moves that he delivered himself were absolutely great. I really enjoyed it. For me, this was match of the night.
I think so for me as well.
I just think you take away all this cheesy stuff that you make Braun do with the train to get these hands, all that, to take all that away and let Braun be just let him be what we see last night without any of that cheesy gimmick stuff. And that is a star. And I can tell you that, I reckon if you've done that, that Braun could actually beat Roman for the title. And I think it'd be incredible. I'm really behind Braun. But you know what's going to happen? They're going to take him out of the situation, let Drew and Bobby go again. And I think it should be a case of, if they're going to go again, leave Braun in it and see what happens in the Hell in a Cell. If it goes to Cell. Because out of that match, who really stood out? Do you know what I mean? And and again, how can you take out the person that made that match look more credible than what it was?
And the other 2 were great, but you're right. Braun was we're all coming away from talking about Braun, even though the other 2 were really good as well. But Braun was,
great finish though. I love the finish. I was going to be I felt going in that I was going to be annoyed that Braun is there to only take the pin. There was literally a while I thought I added him. He took the pin, but man, did he look good throughout the whole match. The videos match tonight, I really enjoyed it.
Cool. I understand, Lucas, you are going to need to leave us in a minute, but just quickly, do you have any quick departing thoughts on the main event, Roman Reigns and Cesaro, before you leave?
On the Hell in a Cell thing, firstly, Braun should be in it. It's designed for him. He does all the big spots. He can throw someone through the cell, go on the outside, all that kind of stuff. Which that'll make that match more exciting. In terms of the main event, superb main event. Cesaro really has, both men stepped up like big time. Reigns is the best in the company at the moment, like by a country mile. And it's not because he's, it's not because he's with Heyman. It's not just because he's with Heyman. It's not because he's Vince's golden boy. It's not because he had leukemia and came back. It's not because of any of that. He literally is in the ring. There's literally no one who can touch him. There's no one who can touch him. He's just been phenomenal this entire run. Like I said, the problems we've had with Reigns have always been these stupid finishes when they have the handcuffs, which hopefully now, like, someone has just put up a sign, no more handcuffs. This is not a sex party. This is wrestling. We don't need handcuffs. We don't need the police. We're not a police force. Like, no. It's not needed. And that's the only, but when you're talking about a championship run, which has gone from August to May now, end of May now, because obviously you're not going to lose it now until like June at least. So the championship has gone over 9 months now, and the only thing you can really pick apart is, he used handcuffs because the producers had some sort of fetish for them, back in January, and it didn't work. I think you're onto a winner here.
Yeah.
But those are my kind of thoughts on it.
And if you guys do want to see some more of Lucas's thoughts, there is his rapid review, which is going to be taking place. So it's on the Rebellious Noise channel now. So check back and see what you think about that. So then there were 3 of us, guys. 3 of us left, a triple threat to close this
Another
show
triple
out.
threat.
Yeah, so a match that wasn't obviously a triple threat, Roman Reigns and Cesaro. It was actually, for this one, really nice that it was pretty much one-on-one for the entirety of the match. And like before the match, Jey Uso spoke to Roman backstage, and he's essentially just telling him, like, I need to go handle my business. And handle his business he did indeed. Roman Reigns coming out of it still your Universal Champion. Yeah, I think Cesaro didn't disgrace himself in this in the slightest. This was like 27.5 minutes, and it was really, really good. Like, I think there was no chance. I mean, to quote Vince McMahon, there was no chance in hell that Cesaro was gonna make this match a bad match. It was always going to be a good match, and the work, as Lucas said, the work Roman is doing at the moment is just some of the best of his career. And the fact, obviously, that he got the job done with the guillotine, no Usos, basically saying to them, look, you need to respect me, acknowledge me. I am the head of the table. I am, to quote Triple H, I am that damn good. And what did you guys think of this match?
I was so pumped. Go on, you go, mate. Go on.
So, you're frozen on my screen, so I don't know if I'm frozen on yours.
No, you go.
All right, cool. No, I really enjoyed it. For me, it was just nice to see, Cesaro in the main event. I'm amazed if all of a sudden he drops down the pecking order again. And literally just gets lost in the shuffle in a mid card, because this was probably one of the best matches I've seen Cesaro in for a long time, and I really enjoyed it. Like I said, the last match, the triple threat for me was match of the night, but this is a close second. From start to finish, I've got no complaints other than the Seth Rollins stuff. I just feel like that you got past that at Mania, let it be. But then I guess, is this a case of you take on Seth and then go back to Raw? I just feel like all of a sudden Seth becomes like a stopping position for. Cesaro's got momentum. Why make him step back to Seth when he beat him? And then
and that kept happening in the lead up to the last pay-per-view as well. We didn't need too much Seth involvement.
Exactly. I just felt like the minute Seth was now Seth's involved, Cesaro's going to handle his business with Seth. So while he's doing that, he's now away from Roman. And right now, if there's no one that's going to beat Roman, then Cesaro's not a problem to, Kevin Owens faced Roman like 3 or 4 times. He lost all of them, but, and it was fine. So why can't they do that with Cesaro? Instead, they give him Seth Rollins, unless they're going to triple threat that at Hell in a Cell.
Maybe.
But I don't see it. However, I do think that with the way Roman's going, I don't know what the length is. It's 500 or something days for Brock. Yeah. But if Roman keeps going with this momentum, I could see him being the longest WWE champion of this modern era.
And people would love it as well. Whereas a few years ago, that would have horrified people,
He's second on the list anyway. So,
is he?
Lesnar with 503. And then Roman Reigns is 258 days and counting.
So, I mean, August would be the year. So that's 365. So, it's only another quarter of a year, half of a year. I mean, that's enough time to really build a star after to be the final person to beat Roman, whoever that be.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the Seth thing. I don't know why they're bringing him back into it. I prefer if they didn't. They did kind of have a little bit of a look between Seth and Roman, so maybe they will go the triple threat route. But I'd rather, like you, I'd rather it's just Cesaro versus Roman and Hell in a Cell, because then again you can act like that's a blow off to that feud and then move Cesaro on. Cesaro and Seth doesn't need to be in Hell in a Cell. Seth is going after Cesaro. It doesn't make sense for him to be a triple threat. But yeah, so not too pleased with that. But the match itself, really good. Yeah, again, Cesaro performed very, very well. I was so pumped up for the start because there was the Uso intrigue, the Cesaro push, Reigns just being a legit main eventer, like Lucas was saying, it's undeniable. When Reigns comes on the screen and it's the Reigns match up next, I'm so pumped. It feels a genuine main eventer. And it feels natural. And yeah, I'm excited every time they're on. I just want to see what's going on, what's next in this storyline. So I just really hope they don't mess it up. Because they've been on a really good run with it. Did you notice as well, Pat's mic glitching on the commentary team?
There was a point as well where I think the whole screen apparently went off and it showed some production stuff in the back. But
I don't think I saw that. Yeah, a bit strange, but yeah, that was just side note. But yeah, again, the match in general, really enjoyed it. It's just, again, we knew Cesaro weren't going to win, but they did enough to make you feel what if, you know what I mean? And get excited about it. And the false finishes and stuff like that, the teasing of submitting and stuff. It was, really well done.
Yeah, I think for me, it was really, really good match, actually. I really thought that Cesaro, obviously, his first title match, just a world title match, obviously, it's just astonishing that it's taken this long for him to have one, actually. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I really did enjoy the match. I thought that, you did kind of hook on a few of the near falls, but, I think ultimately it was the right decision. I'd like to see where they go from here. Obviously, there's, as you guys have mentioned, the intrigue with the Seth Rollins thing. Don't know if anyone's mentioned about what he was wearing as well.
I was waiting.
Looked like a white suit that had been dragged through a Dulux factory.
I'm not getting that one, boys.
Oh man, I was gonna say that's literally Seth Rollins wearing drip.
And the shirt as well. The shirt was even drippy as well. So you've done the other two. I think. I mean, is there a way to do a poll on the Reb Noise page or something for Scott to get that one as well?
Yeah, if you don't know what Rob's talking about, guys, basically I tried on two of Seth's suits a little while ago. Check it out on the channel. We've got lots of weird wrestling content.
I liked it. It was a great video.
Thanks, man. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Seeing you in them. So I mean, I can't take it serious. I mean, for the wedding blessing when it happens next year, if you're not wearing one of those, you're not coming in.
Oh man! What if I get the new? Maybe I'll get the new one. We'll see.
Yeah, get that one.
You should make dress code. Everyone has to show up in a different Seth Rollins suit.
Yeah, everyone in the Seth suit. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, as I say, I thought it was decent. The Seth thing at the end, I honestly think it could lead to, and I know I keep going on, I think it's going to be a multi-man inside Hell in a Cell. You know, I think it could be Roman, Seth, Cesaro, possibly one of the Usos as well, maybe. So they could do like a 4-way inside the Hell in a Cell to make them fall in line. But yeah, I suppose, you know,
when it was Cell last year where they had the first time that Clash of Champs, I think was the first time, because one of them twice basically Jimmy come out and rescued him, didn't he? And one of them was the Cell, right?
I think it was Hell in a Cell because he come out, didn't he?
So
what they did, the Cell was raising and.
Yeah, so this is what they played on SmackDown, actually. I spoke about this a little bit on the later SmackDown thing, and it was the only so it was an I Quit match inside Hell in a Cell between Roman and Jay last year.
Yeah.
And Jay basically refused to quit. It was only because Jimmy was locked in the guillotine that Jay then said, I quit. So that's obviously, I still think that's going to play something into it, but yeah, I mean, I guess, you know,
keep talking about last year, boys. Keep talking about last year. I really enjoyed it.
Well, talking of last year, that was last year, but this year we are looking at something totally different, and that is the brand new RN Trophy, which actually, so we'll take a quick look at the table now, which puts me and Rob both on 6 points, Scott on 4, Lucas on 3.
No
Rob, you and me, Rob, clean sweep for this pay-per-view.
Can we say great minds think alike, right?
And you know what's annoying though? Like the 2 matches that I got wrong on, I know everyone's going to say this, I wish I did that one. But I genuinely remember that it was the Lumberjack one and the WWE title one that as soon as people started talking about it, I was like, yeah. But that's the thing of like sometimes we go first or early on, you know, like, but I was pretty annoyed.
I think what we need to do, so we'll split this now, Rob, because obviously we did say it ends at WrestleMania, so technically pay-per-view WrestleMania Backlash. So there we go. Does that mean that we still have a claim then for last year's one? Because technically it's still WrestleMania.
You want to get the full thing so you can put your chips in it. Telling you.
Yeah, this one you probably could. I mean, it won't be a very good portion of chips, but you can probably fit some in there. But yeah, so as we say, that's obviously the predictions table at the moment. We are going to be back predicting Hell in a Cell. We thought it was going to be Extreme Rules, but it's not. It is Hell in a Cell.
Or Money in the Bank. We thought it was going to be Money in the Bank.
Or Money in the Bank, yeah. So, hopefully when we do sit down to predict Money in the Bank, we'll be predicting a pay-per-view with fans in attendance. That's hopefully, you know, health permitting and, you know, the situation in the world changing and improving all the time. Seth versus Cesaro, Hell in a Cell. Possibly, that could even be like a match for number 1 contendership. Leading into maybe Money in the Bank or SummerSlam. Possibly.
They could have Jimmy and Jay fight each other, where Reigns ain't even in the match; he's just watching from his little head of the table. And and that's like a separate thing. We don't need the title. You know, the title holders to wrestle, and the cell match could be the number 1 contender.
Could be a get in line match. If Jimmy loses, he has to fall in line. If he wins,
things.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that pretty much like wraps it up, really. But yeah, don't forget, guys, I will be back tomorrow. So yeah, if you're watching this live, then it is tomorrow. If you're watching it on demand, then it will be Tuesday at 5 p.m. BST. I'll be reviewing Raw on my later SmackDown. I'll be doing the same with NXT on the Wednesday and SmackDown, obviously, on the Saturday morning. So, yeah, don't forget as well, like, share, subscribe. Check out all of the videos that we have over on the Rebellious Noise Pro Wrestling channel and all the other Rebellious Noise channels as well, not just this one. Don't forget, follow us all on Twitter at RM Pro Wrestling. For now, I've been Dan. I've been joined by Scott, Rob, Lucas as well, but he's obviously not here anymore. But yeah, that's it for all of us. Take care, guys. We will see you soon, and we look forward to Hell in a Cell. Bye.
See you later.
Welcome to the Rebellious Noise Pro Wrestling channel. On this channel, we bring you some great content from inside and outside of the squared circle. we will go through and offer some in-depth analysis of the biggest events of the year, as well as bringing you exclusive interviews with some of the industry's biggest names. There will also be live show reviews, in-depth features, and podcasts. So make sure you give that subscribe button a slam so you don't miss any of the action.